They say history is written by the victors. But what if it's not written at all? What if it's engineered, cut, pruned, and reshaped in silence? For centuries, a story has lingered at the edges of recorded history. A manuscript called the Chronicle of Ashes, a brotherhood whispered about only in fragments, and a theory as terrifying as it is compelling, that our history has not unfolded naturally, but by design, shaped by executioners who move unseen. The story begins in 1892, when masons rebuilding an abbey outside Ravenna stumbled on a fire-blackened manuscript buried in stone. Pages cracked like dead leaves, writing in Latin, Greek, and symbols no scholar could fully place. At first, it was dismissed as the rambling work of a monk. But then the translations came. One line read, "The king cut down by iron birds, and the world set ablaze." At the time, it was nonsense. But in 1914, an archduke was shot in Sarajevo. Gunfire, iron birds, perhaps? That death sparked the First World War. Another passage was more haunting. The Black Towers in smoke. Nations rise in war without banners. Decades later, when two planes struck the Twin Towers, historians began looking back at the chronicle with unease. But it wasn't prophecy that unsettled them. It was the phrasing. Each entry wasn't written like a vision. It was written like an instruction, a ledger of orders fulfilled. From this came whispers of the Custodes Umbri, the keepers of shadow, a brotherhood older than any kingdom still standing. Their task: remove individuals who threaten the balance of power. Not prophecy, not prediction, execution. One of the earliest hints of this order dates back to Rome itself. In the Senate records of 44 BC, a marginal note beside Julius Caesar's assassination describes men unknown, dressed alike, who vanished before the mob scattered. That note was erased in later copies, but a fragment survives in the Vatican Library. Were they just assassins, Brutus and Cassius? Or was someone else guiding the blade? By the Middle Ages, rumors grew. A Florence trial record from 1314 tells of a merchant accused of witchcraft. He swore under oath that his family had been stalked by hooded men with no names for 3 generations. He described them appearing on the eve of every misfortune: fires, sudden deaths, failed harvests. The Inquisition burned him, but his testimony survives. Then came the Renaissance. In 1531, a coded letter was discovered in the archives of the Medici family. It referred to the brethren who trim the branches before they grow wild. Historians debate its meaning. Was it a metaphor for political rivals, or a veiled acknowledgement of something far darker? Even the Enlightenment holds fragments. A French poet named Étienne du Lac claimed he had been visited by strangers in black just weeks before his death in 1621. He wrote in his diary, "They warn me the harvest will not see my hands." I believe them. 3 days later, he was found lifeless, his wine goblet spilled across the table. But perhaps the most chilling story comes from the modern era. In 1943, as Allied troops pushed into Italy, a Nazi officer wrote in his diary about seizing a manuscript called the Book of Prophecies from a hidden library near Bologna. His unit was destroyed days later in an air raid. The book vanished with him. Some believe this was the Chronicle of Ashes itself, the original ledger of killings carried out across centuries. If so, it has never resurfaced. Patterns emerge if you look close enough. Reformers silenced just as their ideas gained traction. Generals cut down mid-campaign. Inventors who died before unveiling their life's work. Could all of these simply be accidents of fate? Or were they deliberate removals, corrections to keep history on track? A chilling theory suggests the keepers may still be active. In 1963, on the day of John F. Kennedy's assassination, a Dallas woman swore she saw two men in black hoods standing on a rooftop a block from Dealey Plaza. Police dismissed her as hysterical. In 1989, a dissident in Eastern Europe claimed he was warned by strangers to flee or be silenced. He escaped. Others around him did not. And then there is the last page of the Chronicle itself. Burnt, incomplete, but still visible. It reads, "In the year of the falling star, the last custodian shall, the rest is lost to ash." Some take this to mean the order was meant to end. Others believe the sentence remains unfinished, waiting to be written. Whether the custodes umbri ever truly existed is a question history cannot answer. Perhaps it is all myth, built from coincidence and paranoia. Or perhaps it is the greatest secret of all, that our past, our present, even our future are shaped not by chance, not by choice, but by executioners hidden in shadow. The Chronicle leaves us with only fragments. But if it is true, then history as we know it is not history at all. It is a story written in blood, erased and rewritten again and again, until only the keepers know what was lost. The evidence room leaves the final verdict to you.